Dr. Breck, on today's show, we're interviewing a guy by the name of Angelo Polley, and he's telling us about how to lose weight faster with metabolic profiling. My friend, you're a chiropractor. You love to work out. What's the best way to increase somebody's resting metabolic rate?
Exercise. Diet plays a huge factor. Yes. Rest. And so intermittent fasting. There's a number of different approaches, but I'm curious to hear what he's got to say.
Well, on today's show, he's going to break down the science of how to lose weight faster with metabolic profiling. If you're out there wanting to lose weight and to get into great shape, today's show is for you with the founder of MetPro, Angelo Polley.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're going to have a fascinating conversation with a beautiful man and a great American, Angelo Polley. Welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me here, Clay.
Hey, I want to give you an opportunity. Can you share with the Thrive listeners what you do for a living? Are you making nuclear parts for various people or with using coconut remnants, or what do you do for a living?
You nailed it. You got it. That's exactly what I think I'm doing every day.
I knew it. Yes.
To put it succinct, I help people transform their bodies. We are, my company MetPro, we are transformation makeover specialists. We work with elite athletes. We work with celebrities. We work with people who have to look a certain way for a role that they may be playing. But we also work with just regular everyday executives who are just trying to manage their time and want best practices. We work with grandparents who want more energy to spend time with their grandkids. Anyone who wants to improve their body, their metabolism, their health, their fitness, and don't want to strive through just books and books of conflicting information, but want somebody to actually walk with them through that journey. That's what MetPro is for. That's what we do.
I'm curious, what does MetPro stand for, and when did you start this business?
I can't tell you how many podcasts I've been on now. You were the first person to ask me what does MetPro stand for.
Oh,
that's great.
Yes. That's 1 mega point for me.
So it's actually short for metabolic profiling. And the reason that we use that name is because not that metabolism is the most important part of what we do. Lifestyle, strategy, fitness are all key ingredients as well. It's that the metabolism is consistently cited as the most misunderstood component of the process. In other words, help me understand I'm doing everything quote unquote right and I can't get the pounds off. Or I did this, I tried that, and I got 2 completely different results from what I thought I was going to get. Explain it to me. How does the metabolism actually work? And that's what we're hyper focused on. MetPro, short for metabolic profiling.
So metabolic profiling, that's what it stands for. How did you go out there and get your first 5 clients? Because my understanding is you guys are doing very well, and people all over this great planet, and maybe even on other planets, people on other planets may be trying out your program, but people on this planet are for sure signing up for your program and trying it out in droves. How did you go about gaining your first 5 clients?
We just got a Martian last week.
Oh, beautiful.
Very Martian.
I knew it.
So my first few clients. You know what? I'm going to tell you my first 2 clients.
Yeah.
Gal was about 60 years old. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was 18, almost 19, just new in the fitness industry. The concept of metabolism hadn't even crossed my mind. I was a kid. But I liked fitness and I was conscientious. And so this gal, she was about 60 years old. She wanted to get healthy. She had a few pounds to lose. And so I started exercising with her on a regular schedule. And over my course of, I didn't even realize what I was doing was personal training, but I was meeting her at the gym at 3:00, et cetera. Over the course of my time with her, she lost 60 pounds.
60
she gave
pounds?
up smoking.
What?
And actually, she ended up marrying her high school sweetheart at 60.
Really?
Yeah, it was a fairy tale story, but that's just teeing up the story. So here's what happened. She said, Angelo, I have a family member who has a lot more weight than I do to lose, and I'd like you to do the same thing with her. So I said, well, that'll be easy. She's younger than me. She's healthier than me. So I'm thinking, oh, well, this is going to be a breeze, right?
Yeah,
Knock it out of the park. So I took this other individual and I had her right beside and doing the same routine, eating the same meals, the same strategy. Guess how much weight this other family member lost? Take a guess.
If her chance to win 5,000 mega points, 20 pounds?
She lost 5.
That's not positive. Not positive.
I was just teeing up the sound music machine. I knew you had one. See?
Boom.
Then and there, I learned basically what caused me to become passionate. If we're being honest, become obsessed with why is it that everyone's metabolism is so different? Two people doing the same thing can have polar opposite results. There's nothing fair about it. What are the ingredients that go into it? How do you predict how someone's going to respond? And how do you solve that metabolic riddle?
It's not always bad to be in last place. Here's some things we can focus on. 1, we tried hard. And 2, we're still dear friends.
Lance, shut up.
Oh, I see Terry. He's having a chicken sandwich.
So that way you can bust through plateaus and get results. And then that kind of became my quest in life. If you ask my wife, it became my obsession.
Now, where did this obsession take place? What part of the country were you located in? Were you in an office building? Were you in West Coast, East Coast? Where were you?
West Coast. So Northern California is home.
Oh, right.
And I grew up in this area. I love the area. As soon as I was a young man, I decided to explore and experience other parts of the country. I moved to the Midwest for a little bit. I actually spent a little bit of time in Manhattan, but I quickly moved home.
Now,
So yeah, this is where I want to be.
Now I
love it here.
On the show today, I have a couple gurus with me that I'm going to introduce to you. I've got a guy by the name of Mr. Brett Denton. This guy is a fitness. He owns a gym called Cavell Fit that's based in Boise. I've been told it's not Boise. No, it's Boise. And Brett, I think your mic's on. Is your mic on? Brett doesn't know he's going to be on the show. Now he's on the show. Brett, is your mic on?
Yeah,
awesome.
check here.
Oh, he's there. Okay, Brett's on. So, Brett, you see people every day come in Cavell Fit, and you guys help transform people's bodies in the gym. What questions do you have about this method? Because you clearly know more about fitness than I do, and you probably get the same questions all the time from people. What are a few questions that people ask you? And Dr. J, you're not off the hook. I'm going to ask you. You're going to be Dr. J is a chiropractor, and I want to ask you guys. People always ask you these health-related questions. Brett, what are some of the most common, or what is the most common question you get asked about weight loss that we can maybe ask our guest?
Yeah, we get a lot of questions about why can my husband lose so much weight faster than I can?
Oh,
I would love to dive into that one. I don't want to steal anyone's thunder, though.
Yeah. No, you steal the thunder. I want to know what Angelo is. What would be your answer to that?
First of all, while yes, statistically, so this is what we do. We aggregate analytics and data on literally thousands of clients, not casual clients. In other words, this isn't just self-reported data that's light. This is people who are working very closely with our concierge service day by day, walking with their coach. So this is solid data. And so, yes, I can tell you that generally speaking, all things being equal, it can be easier for men to lose weight than women. That said, it's simply not always the case. In our, though we work with it, most people remote. Sometimes we'll have folks come into our office in Northern California, and there's this little tiny petite gal and this stout big man, and she's smacking him and said, "I told you you can't eat that, and you shouldn't be doing this." And he's like, "Well, I've been eating everything you put in front of me." There's nothing fair about metabolic rates. So the principal reason Why? Beyond genetics and gender, the principal reason why it seems like men can lose weight faster is because it has more to do with what they were previously accustomed to. So if a guy isn't watching his weight or watching his diet, that, not always, but can often mean that pizzas and Taco Bell and a few cervezas and some, nachos and everything that goes with it is just fair game. And that's just how he lives his life. So when you take that guy whose cruising altitude is pounding 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, and you simply have him eliminate soda pop from his diet, he drops 20 pounds because it's such a stark contrast. Whereas even women that aren't necessarily claiming to be on a diet, and there's always exceptions to this, but just generally seem to be more conscious about what they're putting into their bodies.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
So it's rare for that woman to go from having beers every night and pounding pizzas and the whole 9 yards to just eating salads.
Okay.
But if she did, she would lose weight just as fast.
Okay, so you're saying that men by default are man-bear pigs and women actually care. But by default, on
now
average.
You got it.
On average. And now, Dr. J, can you tell the listeners out there where you're from and what you do for a living?
Yeah, so I live in Nashville, Tennessee, the new hotspot in the U.S., as everyone probably knows by now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a chiropractor. Been doing it for about 15 years.
And Dr. J, I've got audio from your actual YouTube page of you adjusting the backs of people. It's truly incredible. It's almost unbelievable.
All right, and I'm going to put a little pressure right here. There it goes. Great. So we're going to just turn here.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Doc, I feel a little bit better, but I feel like I'm so inflamed still.
Back, elbows together, squeeze. Very good. Let me have you rotate facing the opposite way.
Doc, I feel a little bit better, but I feel like I'm so inflamed still.
Relax your shoulders more.
Oh,
that's nice.
And so you have people probably ask you health-related questions all the time. We're dealing with the founder here of MetPro, Angelo Polley. What questions or question would you have for the Angelo?
For us, what we deal with mostly is, obviously a lot of back pain, right? So the question I get is, Doc, I feel a little bit better, but I feel like I'm so inflamed still. Is there anything that I'm eating that is causing this inflammation? And the question I have is, from your standpoint, what do you see from foods that's going to cause the most inflammation in their system to cause their pain not to quite go away?
Well, you're actually talking about something that's near and dear to me. So my history is in pain and suffering. I actually walked with a cane for 9 years. Because of back pain, low back pain. And I've actually ended up having multiple surgeries. Finally, a spinal fusion ended up really transforming my life. Shout out to Dr. Sig Bervin, who's at UCSF, at least he was years ago, was just absolutely phenomenal in helping get me an accurate diagnosis. So I can attest to how crippling that can be. I also had a number of chiropractors that kept me upright. I work with Dr. Ed Rogers and a number of others that have really had a huge impact in my life and being able to just stay upright in my career while dealing with pain and suffering. So I can speak to both sides. So I can tell you, to this day, I can feel the difference, and my clients will often express the same thing when they have a lot of processed foods, particularly a lot of sugars in their diet. The body systemically is more prone to inflammation. So it's always a plus to at least reduce those elements in your diet. That said, I eliminated sugar, I eliminated everything, and it was not the solution for me because I was walking around with a catastrophic L4, L5 disc tear, which I didn't know at the time. So my pain persisted despite my best efforts in clean eating. So I needed a medical intervention. So when somebody is complaining of that, what I am going to tell them is to actually talk to their doctor, talk to their chiropractor, their medical professional, their healthcare professional. That's not the role I try and fill. I've been around the block a couple times, so I'll have some good advice on the basics in general. But the lane that I try and stay in is really strategy, big picture strategy for body transformations.
So somebody out there is listening. We're going, okay, how do you? Let's say I'm listening right now, and I want to sign up for the program, or I think our listeners are mostly small business owners, aka paranoid people. We've all had an employee steal stuff. We've all had people lie about why they didn't come to work. We've all bought an ad that didn't work. We've all been scammed, and we're just a skeptical bunch. We have hope, just a small little hope. At the end of Braveheart, we had some hope, and then he died, and so we have a little bit of hope. But someone out there is saying, okay, MetPro, it sounds like for me maybe something I could look into, but how does the process work, and how much does it cost?
Okay. Great questions. Lot there. So let me try and check those boxes one at a time. So the first one is you need to be skeptical. You need to keep being skeptical, especially in the weight loss industry. So there's everybody wants to sell a pill or a quick fix. If you're looking for a pill or a quick fix, you get. Unfortunately, the data tells me that I don't have good news for you. No surprise here. It takes hard work, dedication, consistency. But there's a big difference. There's lots of people out there who are willing to put in the hard work, yet they're still stuck at these plateaus. They're still not where they want to be in this, in as far as progress. So for those people, there is merit to having somebody more strategic taking a look at what we're doing.
How much money does it cost? Can I ask? Is that something I can ask?
Yeah, you can ask that.
Okay, so how much money does it cost?
So we're concierge. So this is not a do-it-yourself. So this isn't a $19 program you're going to download. We are developing best of practices in our technology platform that will be for the masses. But people who work with us can get into the program, for getting started for as low as $500. I know people are thinking that's not low. It depends on what you need. So no, it's not fair. Everybody isn't the same. Some people can work with us for 90 days and easily check the box. Hey, I got a wedding. I got this event. Get me prepared for this part, or whatever the case may be. And we can be there in 90 days. Some people come to me and we explain to them, this is going to take a year. So we've worked with a number of people who've been on the reality TV, weight loss TV shows, who have lost hundreds of pounds, who have gained lots of weight back, and now their metabolism is really in the state of confusion. And so, we talk with these people and get to know them first, so we can actually say, here's what's to be expected. So if somebody comes on board and they say, hey, look, I want to lose 50 pounds, I'm going to make sure that they're not thinking this is a 6-week process. Whereas somebody may come on board and just have 12 pounds to lose. And I will be able to explain to them, this is gonna take, only 5 or 6 weeks to do it right. So that way it's sustainable. Or I'm going to explain to them, here's the problem. You want to lose 12 pounds, but you are coming to me in a state where you have played every card in your hand. You're already eating very little calories. You've already gone ketogenic. You're already exercising 5 or 6 days a week. There are no levers left. We have to actually get to your goal by forcing your metabolic rate up. And then we can go into a cutting cycle. I'm going to give you all my secrets, Clay.
All the secrets.
All the secrets. Here it is. Achieving your goals, weight loss or weight gain, is about contrast. It's not some superfood or ingredient or special diet that you're on or exercise that you're doing. It's about contrast. The delta or the difference between what you were used to doing before and what you change to now. To illustrate, every year, I'll take some of my athletes that have hired me for physique shows, figure, bikini, physique, even bodybuilding, right? And people in the crowd will come up to me, Mr. Polley, your athletes look amazing. What do you have them eating? And I give them the tongue-in-cheek answer, boiled chicken, broccoli, brown rice. That's my tongue-in-cheek answer. And the reason it's tongue-in-cheek is because of what they're going to say next. If I eat that, will I look like them? Nope. And here's why. It's not about the boiled chicken.
Come on now.
It's about the fact that that athlete that you're looking at, male or female, for the last 5 months have been training in the gym, and we've been gradually reassessing and adjusting their nutrition and getting more and more fuel through them to where now they're eating, could be 3, 4, in some cases 5,000 calories a day for some of my elite athletes. I've worked with top 10 CrossFitters. I work with NFL superstars, you name it, world record holding powerlifters. So I also work with grandparents, right? So it's an equal opportunity. It just depends on where you're at. But the point is, these athletes here have been upregulating their metabolic rate and conditioning their bodies to burn more and more fuel. So when they go from 4,000 calories of high density foods down to 1,900 calories of boiled chicken, body fat is literally incinerated off of their body. It's not because of the boiled chicken, it's because of the contrast. And some people are spinning their wheels because they're doing everything right, but they don't have contrast and they don't know how to create it. And the tool that you need to use is different in every case. Some people say, well, carbohydrates is the best tool to manipulate. Others say, no, calories is the golden standard. Which one's right? They're both right. It's a matter of the individual who has the most leverage. It's like going to the mechanic shop and saying, hey, doc, I see you working on my car, right? Which is the better tool, the screwdriver or the wrench? Because I hear really good things about the screwdriver this time of year. It's a ridiculous question. The right tool for the job, which means that if you're individually, uniquely assessed, we're going to know if manipulating your calories is going to give us the most leverage to change your body, or manipulating your carbohydrates, or a combination of the two, or leveraging the style of training, or the energetic pathway, or the timing of your meals, or the timing of your exercise. I mean, that's what I get when I'm working with elite athletes. They're not calling me to ask how to do bicep curls. They want to know how to strategically carve up the 12 to 14 hours a week that they're putting in training to absolutely optimize human performance. Well, just because you're not a bodybuilder, a football player, or an elite athlete doesn't mean that you want to invest whatever resources you do have ineffectively. You want to optimize it. So you're going to be surprised, but you want to know what our largest single demographic of clientele is as far as jobs?
Sure.
Doctors.
Really?
We have more doctors as clientele than any other single line item. And the reason is because doctors understand the struggle. They see it day in and day out, and they know that there's nothing fair about metabolism, and somebody hasn't come up with a magic solution that fits everyone. And two, a lot of times they're doing it for the education in metabolism. Now, I am not a doctor. That's not what I'm claiming. What I am is I'm a bit of a nerd, and I love to geek out on the data and really get to the heart of analytics for each person. And what's missing in the equation is that we don't define metabolism accurately, generally speaking. When you think of a fast metabolism, Clay, describe the person you think of. What do you think when you think of a fast metabolism? What does this person look like?
There's a guy I went to college with. We'll go with Jason White. He would just eat everything, anything, everything he would eat, and he somehow still was just a chiseled missile of athleticism. Just crazy.
Yep. But was he a really bulky guy?
He was pretty. I'd say he's lean, bulky. He looked like a high school running back because he was a high school running back.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. Running back physique. Perfect. He has a fast metabolism.
Yep.
Now, you want to know who has a faster metabolism? Like bury him in the ground as if he was standing still, faster metabolism. You ever seen those shows on like the Discovery Health Channel where they're taking the 900-pound man out of his house with a crane?
I can't watch it. I can't do it,
Right.
but I believe other people have seen it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. You've at least seen the commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
So keep in mind, there's, Hollywood dramatization, but they pan over and like, here's what this person is eating. And, like 3 different 2 liters of Pepsi and 2 pizzas and 3 buckets of fried chicken. And, and they do the tally and, 12,000 calories a day. Now the nutritionists who work with these people, they'll put them on something like 6,000, 5,000 calories a day. And these guys will lose 5-10 pounds a day on that. Clay, how many pounds a day would you lose if I put you on 5,000 calories a day?
Yeah, that's not a good number. That would be, I would kind of feel like a whale.
Right. So my purpose is to just get people to look at things in a new way. If you're not satisfied with the results you've gotten currently, consider being open to another train of thought. That's all. So a fast metabolism, this guy can't even stand without us. I mean, this is terrible. This is a very sad and serious medical situation here. But the reality is, strictly from a definition and biological standpoint, that guy's metabolism, he's maintaining his weight. Though 900 pounds is a big problem, he's maintaining that 900 pounds by eating 10,000 plus calories a day. He has a blazing fast metabolism. Blazing fast. Your metabolism acclimates to your nutritional environment. Everybody says basically your basal metabolic rate doesn't move much, which there is some accuracy to that, but your body will find a way to survive, because the alternative is death. So here's what that means. It's good news. It means you can, to a degree, control your metabolism. Clay, if you, Dr. Z, and 50 other of your friends, if we dropped you off on a deserted island and stranded you there for a year, and we gave you all rations, 1,500 calories a day, how do you think you'd feel? Do you think you'd feel good on 1,500 calories a day?
Well, what can I eat for 1,500 calories? What am I talking? Like, what could we eat for 1,500?
Okay, when you get the measured packaged weight loss meals from the store, where they're metered out. So bottom of the barrel for 3 meals a day for the women is going to be 1,200 calories.
Okay.
Usually bottom of the barrel for men is going to be about 1,500 calories. So it's where, you have the picture on the package of this gourmet, roasted rib and then sweet potato and peas, and it looks like a whole meal, and you open the package and you need to get out your microscope to see it. It's that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, for 1,500, I could do it, but I'm probably a weird person. I don't know.
Okay. So here's my question. Here's where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Would you die? Would it kill you?
No.
No, it wouldn't. In fact, even if we were to go real extreme, even at 1,000 calories or maybe even a little less,
let's do it.
You'd survive. You wouldn't thrive, but you'd survive. So here's what that means. That means your metabolism acclimates to your intake. Doesn't do it overnight, but it will do it quickly. Otherwise, you'd lose 3, 4, 5 pounds a week until you wasted away and died. And who does that? Who says, I was on this diet, it was going really good, I was losing 2 pounds a week, but pretty soon it was getting scary. I was losing so much weight that I had to go off the diet. How many times did you hear that from your neighbor?
I have not heard that. I have not heard that yet, but I will start asking just to prove the point.
Just to be sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So the point is, if your metabolic rate can slow down to acclimate, the question is, can it speed up? So you and 50 of your friends are on this deserted island. You're all eating 1,500 calories a day. A year later, you come off the island, whether there's big people, little people, skinny people, fat people, young people, old people, you are all burning exactly 1,500 calories a day to maintain you. Otherwise, you don't come off the island. You wouldn't be able to sustain it. So what people do is, you hear this saying, you have to eat more to burn more. That is an accurate statement that is dangerously misapplied. So I'll give you an example. Every time I do a seminar, I'll always ask, and I'll ask the medical community that's there, and I'll ask, hey, you challenge me if I say anything that doesn't sound right. Let's take Julie here in the front row, and I'll pick out a petite female that looks to be late 30s, 40s, someone who knows her body and looks like she's interested in fitness. So, okay, Julie here in the front, how much do you weigh? I weigh 120 pounds. Okay, you exercise regularly. I exercise regularly. I say, Julie, we're not going to change anything about your diet, except every night before you go to bed, I want you to add a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. That's 1,000 calories a night. What would happen to your body? The first thing she'll say, because I've asked this question hundreds of times, the first thing she will say is she'll laugh. And she'll say, I'll be happy. That sounds great to me. So, no, I would gain weight. I say, you're correct. I will attest you will gain weight. Now, how much weight will you gain in 30 days? Now, I have literally asked this question hundreds of times. And invariably, with very few outliers, the woman will say, I would gain between 5 and 15 pounds. And I would say, as a metabolic expert, as someone who is in the trenches every day, that's about right. You know your body. You'd probably gain between 5 and 15 pounds. Now, what would happen if you kept eating that Ben & Jerry's every night for a year? How much weight would you gain? Now, this is where it gets interesting. They say between 15 to 30 pounds on the very top end. I say, now that's interesting. I would agree with that as well. But now there's a flaw in our current science. See, because let's do the math. Wait a second. There's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat, 1,000 calories in the pint of Ben & Jerry's. That's 7,000 calories a week. Therefore, 2 pounds a week. Let's see, 52 weeks in a year. That's 104 pounds. You should gain 104 pounds. And then I turn to everyone in the room and I say, raise your hand if you think Julie's going to gain 104 pounds. And I never have a single taker. Why? Because we know that your body adapts. So she would put on body fat, but her metabolism will acclimate. It'll adapt to her new nutritional environment. Why? Because if it cannot create homeostasis, she would end up in an endless perpetuating cycle of weight gain, which would lead to her dying quickly. Our bodies are designed to be able to adapt to various intake levels. So everyone's genetic influences the degree to which they can adapt. But we all recognize that she wouldn't double her body weight. There's no way that would happen. So what's the take-home message? Well, that Ben & Jerry's speeds your metabolism. No, that's not the message I want everyone to take home. But the principle is that your metabolism acclimates. So how do we get someone to acclimate to a higher intake without the associated body fat gain? By being strategic. It means it can't be done overnight. We have to add in small increments. We have to calculate, measure, and identify when your body's at a threshold where we can't go anymore, wait, and push forward when it signals that it can. And then once we get all the way ramped up to a high intake level, just like those physique competitors and the bodybuilders do, even if that's not you, the same principle applies. Now we have leverage. So when we reduce your intake, it will trigger weight loss if that's your goal, because it's not about how much you're eating. It's about the distance, the difference between what you got your body used to and what you then change it to. So that's what we try and do at Metabolic Profiling, is we track those nuances so we can be strategic with each step.
Angelo, speaking of homeostasis, who's your favorite old school rap homie? I mean, what's your favorite? If you were to do all of
Can I say Frank Sinatra?
You could. I want to know, because everyone went through the '90s. We all went through the '90s. We all saw the gangster rap, the early '90s.
I too
early
pulled
2000s.
up to the house around 7 or 8, and I yelled. I went through the '90s. No, that's it. I always was entertained. Will Smith entertained me.
Will Smith, really?
That's it. I guess that's not old. I guess that's not that old, huh?
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think there's listeners out there who are saying, I don't know if this guy's credible or not. I want to know who his favorite old school rapper is. I think you've solidified in the minds of many, many people that you know what you're talking about. And I have 3 quick rapid fire questions in our final 90 seconds here. Okay, so my rapid fire. Question number 1: if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what does that process look like? Do you do like a free evaluation? Do you have to pay? Is it a toll free? Do you call 1-900 super sexy thin? What do you do?
Well, thank you for setting me up, Clay. No, the shout out to you guys and the Thrive community for doing this. If you go to metpro.co/thrive, that's metpro.co/thrive, we'll do a 30-minute complimentary evaluation. This is not some sort of call center. You're actually going to talk to a specialist. And my advice is, if you are interested, there's no pressure here. If you're interested in learning more, come to that conversation being ready to be open, because we're going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to want to actually get to know you. Some people are surprised that, hey, I thought I was going to learn about exercise and nutrition and this, and they're asking, tell me about your family, and do you take meals with them, and what's your bedtime? What kind of work do you do? Because that all plays into how we're going to build a strategy for you. So even if you just want to get a little bit of an education, please take us up on that, metpro.co/thrive.
Now, if I'm listening out there today and I'm looking for a book to read or books to read as it relates to metabolism or some of the knowledge that maybe you don't get in college, but knowledge that you have gained, is there a certain book or a couple of books that you might recommend where you'd say, hey, this follows my line of thought, or you should read this book, check out this book?
Yeah, but it was one of my business partners' sole mission in life to destroy my book.
Oh, really?
So I wrote a book, and he's a computer tech, and he said, he's a programmer, and he said, my goal is to tear one page out of that book at a time and turn this digital. Because it wasn't just a, once upon a time, let me tell you a storybook. It's actually a workbook where we're about asking questions. Now turn to page, and you're going to see our response if you answer it this way. So it was very detailed. So you can actually go to metpro.co and go through this is years later. The process has been very polished now. Take our metabolic profiling assessment, where we're going to actually ask you, when this isn't one of those, tell us 3 things about yourself. We're going to tell you what kind of animal you are. These are actually relevant questions that will parallel what our experts would actually be diving into with you on. So if you go to metpro.co, look around. We have knowledge base. We have all kinds of stuff that you can read to learn more about our principles and philosophies that have evolved over the years.
Now, final question for you. We have a lot of entrepreneurs on the show that do just weird stuff. I wear the same thing every day. Dr. Z goes to bank board meetings wearing shorts. Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day. Elon Musk likes to work 80 hours a week. You've got all these different people with different things they do, kind of like superpowers, but they're idiosyncrasies that some might find to be strange, but they draw their strength from. They're kind of like the Samson model. You got the long hair, says, I don't care, but I have the long hair. That's why, because my power's there. Talk to us about, do you have an idiosyncrasy or something that you do that's kind of unique to you that allows you to have the superpowers?
I have my special genes.
Special jeans, really?
My blue jeans and T-shirts, since we're talking about what he goes to work in. Yeah, I love it. No, my superpower is what drives my poor wife crazy. I love analyzing things and the finding out the why and how things tick. And so that's how I approach day-to-day life. That's how I approach coaching. And that's how I live my life. I firmly believe, I'm straying a little here, but I firmly believe that mastery in a number of areas boils down to a strong hierarchy of priorities. If you clearly understand what the priority and most relevant pieces are, then by focusing on those, you're going to get the biggest return. And I think that applies to fitness, it applies to nutrition, and it applies to life.
Thrive Nation, if you're out there today and you want to learn more about MetPro, check them out today at metpro.co. That's MetPro, metpro.co. Somebody might be saying to yourself, I want you to say it over and over so it's stuck in my head forever. Okay, fine. metpro.co. My name is Clay Clark, and if you're looking for fitness advice, don't talk to me. And if you're looking for fitness advice, check out metpro.co. And if you live in the Boise area, Brett, what's your website if people want to get jacked, they want to get fit in Boise, they want to go to a gym, maybe they do MetPro, the coaching calls, and then they want to just get jacked in the gym with Brett Denton. Where can they go?
You go to KVELLFit.com, KVELLFIT.com.
KVELLFit.com. Hey, thank you so much for being on the show there, sir. You had a great interview, great energy, and I hope you have an awesome day.
Thanks, guys.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom! right, let's just say that you're out there listening today and you have a website for your business. The question I would have for you is, are you getting the most number of leads possible? Are you ranking high? Wow.
Touching the canvas.
Can't feel my face. Or are you ranking
low
in the Google search engine results? Again, I ask, are you ranking high? Or are you ranking low on the Google search engine search results? Take a moment today and do a Google search for the keywords that you want to come up top for and see where you are ranking. We have Josh Spurl, a CPA from Canada, and we have Dr. Timothy Johnson here from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Josh Spurl, how in the heck are you?
Doing pretty good, Clay. Yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well here. We're not broadcasting from the Man Cave studios as normal, so we got a little bit of background noise there to contend with, but we're here, and I wanted to see if you could share with the Thrive Nation approximately how long you and I have been working together and how that's impacted the number of inbound leads that you're generating as a result of your Google search engine ranking and internet marketing.
Well, we've been working together, Clay, now for almost a year. It was about a year ago I came out to my first conference, and then we started with the coaching program shortly after that. And, our Google leads have gone from, something that we would generate, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 leads a year to, we're talking about 3 to 9 leads every single week.
And now we have Dr. Timothy Johnson in the box from Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, so I'm at Southern Eye Consultants. It's in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We heard about you on the podcast, and I had a lot of trepidation at first about getting involved, just making sure it was legit. But all my expectations have been exceeded.
What concerns did you have about our legitness or lack thereof?
I was just concerned about back-end upselling, what I was getting into.
That's what I found. My entire career, I had been. Had you guys been to Dr. Tim? Had you been to other workshops or had other industry coaching before? Because I had hired a lot of them, frankly, and I just found I spent. I would be lying if I said hundreds of thousands. It's been more than that.
Oh, we hired somebody to do our website right before we found you.
Yeah,
and it was 3 or 4 months of your coaching service, and we still haven't launched that website yet.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. So if somebody out there's thinking about filling out the form, if someone's thinking about emailing us to info@thrivetimeshow.com, that's info@thrivetimeshow.com, and they have a little bit of hesitation, just a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit, what advice would you have for them, Dr. Tim?
First of all, come to one of the conferences. You'll see that he may dress like Bill Belichick, but my wife's a Pats fan, so that was a real selling point.
Nice.
She thought you were a hobo, but I said, no, he's just Bill Belichick. She goes, okay, you can go.
Nice.
But it's also month to month, so try it, and if you don't like it, cancel.
That deserves a mega point. Yeah. So again, where has your sales gone up? Have you increased your sales? I mean, where's your financial? I'm not asking for the hard number here, but as a percentage, how much are you up since you started with the program? 4 months ago versus now?
Our sales have gone up 20%. We're looking to scale Southern Eye Consultants, and just the number of patients who come in because they found us on Google has gone up a lot. I text you once a week. You paid for yourself just in somebody walking in. So.
Oh, Billy.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Again, if you're out there today and you feel stuck, just email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com. info@thrivetimeshow.com. Let us begin to do a deep dive analysis on your website. We'll tell you what's wrong with it. We're going to do a 37-point audit of your website. Our member of our team will call you. They'll go over it with you. They'll break it down. You'll understand what you need to do to improve. I'll give you the final words here, guys. So start with you, Captain Spurl, Josh Spurl, CPA. As Captain Canada and as a man who's been to 2 workshops now, we got an audience, picture 500,000 people listening here. What is the advice that you would tell them?
I think they got to come out to a workshop. It's the best one that I've ever seen. I find that most of the workshops I've been to, you're sitting around all day for one good idea, and you're getting a good idea every single hour at these workshops.
Dr. Tim, what is the word of encouragement, maybe discouragement, maybe the motivation, maybe the verbal tasering. What advice would you give for the listeners out there today?
I'd say the worst idea you can do is not starting now. Just call and start now, and you'll be better off for it.
You heard them right there. Thrive Nation, go to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Allow us to do a free 37-point analysis of your website. We'll tell you what's wrong. We'll tell you how to fix it. If you're not ranking high enough in those Google search engine results, it will literally cost your company millions and millions and millions of dollars. But don't take my word for it. Go to thrivetimeshow.com and click on the testimonials button. And as of the time of this recording, we have over 1,000 video reviews from my clients I've had from 2008 up until now, from conference attendees. You're just an email away from becoming a game-changing success story. Email us today at info@thrivetimeshow.com. And we like to end every show and every shameless testimonial session with a boom. And so now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom.